Long time no see.
Not since this morning.
You're all over the place.
I'm on too many boards and committees.
I'm gonna have to get you some after July.
I know, I'm done.
What are you gonna do with your son?
I don't know. I wanna,
Enjoy.
I wanna, yeah, I wanna see if I get bored, and then I'll
I went back
decide
to
what I
work.
wanna do. Well, I think I'm gonna be helping at the school district for a little while.
I mean, this year,
Place.
I went back to work this year.
Did you?
I'm consulting for a steel mill down in
Oh,
Miami, Florida.
oh,
Yeah, they called me and said, we would very much like to talk to you, so I talked to them and they said,
we'd very much like to pay you.
yeah, they pay very well.
Yeah, that's, yeah, being a consultant.
Yeah.
A nice gig. Set your own hours and work as much or as little as you want.
Let me know when you would like to start and I'll start with
What's
support.
this year?
That's for the
That's for
governance. For
We're
governance.
doing an audit.
Doing audit and then governance because you were out last month.
So this is governance.
That's governance, but we're gonna do audit first,
Where's the audit?
right there.
Okay.
So,
I'll let the chairman of the audit committee go ahead.
Okay, we can start.
okay.
Now, do you have to let someone in? Is she not joining us? The
She's gonna
The
join
audit.
during the regular.
regular
meeting.
meeting, oh, okay,
Regular.
so she's not gonna review, all right. So I mean, I looked at the audit, my only, comments were. I mean, the numbers are what they are, I was just, reviewing the things that you pointed out in the email, the findings, and then our response.
The only question I had was, could we be challenged with a conflict of interest since Elaine's company merged with the company that did the overall audit?
Not sure I understand.
What do you mean the overall audit?
Well,
Elaine Buffington and Holtland merged with Danville and McKee.
and if you look in here, that they're the ones that did was it Elaine working for them, or when that was done, what the hell is it? Where that was. But the
This
recommendations and that came from
from Danville and McKee.
Well, so, the recommendations from the prior audit were Buffington and
Oh, it's a
House.
prior audit, yes.
And their firm merged with Danville and McKee. What they pointed out is recommendations made as part of last year's audit were not implemented.
And, okay. So that wouldn't constitute a
No,
conflict.
I don't think there's any issue with
Okay.
that.
It gets a little dicey when you have a merge like that and we're covered by one company and a set of individuals. Did the new company
The new company took over all of whatever,
They bought their book of
Yeah,
business,
they-
which included,
they took on everything,
right?
okay, so we're safe there.
yeah.
And then they would have raised an issue had it done. I know We had agreed to work with Buffington and Holtz early fall, and then maybe a month or so later, the news came out that they had merged.
Yeah,
That's part of what they're paying today is their bill for the audit itself. The prepared responses I have, I don't know if either of you had a chance.
We did. look
To
at
make
this.
sure it represents the authority's position on responses to issues they pointed out.
talking about these or the?
No, so this
The,
is
the email you
audit.
sent
the,
us.
the email I sent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I tried to keep it
yeah, just
concise.
distinct, yeah. So we have an administrative contract with CETA, which experienced significant staff turnover. Yes, as a result of this. A result of this was the inadvertent implementation of recommended. Was the.
I do need to work on the language.
Yeah, it was not implemented. Of recommended changes from the prior audit. Developing specific control procedures to ensure recommendations are implemented and that monthly and annual closing procedures are strictly adhered to. I think that's perfect. I mean, it's just, yeah, that's how I would respond.
That was on all
Yeah,
of the,
just say, result of this was the inadvertent failure to implement
Mhm.
recommended changes from prior audit.
And are you given a date as to when they were or will be?
so I was just sharing with Lisa here that with Christine leaving, I've hired Dee Moran. One of the items on the agenda this evening is to onboard her as the new treasurer / secretary for the IDA. I have very high confidence in Katie's abilities, and I've already made note to her of the auditor's feedback here, and it's one of my priorities to get these things implemented and back on track appropriately.
I look at her background and I wonder how long is she gonna stay?
That's what we were talking about. I was surprised that she really wanted to work.
Yeah.
Well, and that's I can share, or Katie rather can share when she joins us. She'll be part of the larger meeting this evening. You know, it's a part-time role, which fits her lifestyle right now. And, you know, she's also passionate about working for an organization that's benefiting the community. So I think we found the right person.
Good.
So.
And we've had the discussions several times that should bite the bullet and make that a full-time position.
Mhm.
But historically, the people that have filled it are only looking for a part-time position, but it always seems to be a stepping stone.
Well, Taylor was full-time, wasn't she?
Taylor was full-time, and part of my concern with what that role was doing is this is really administrative. Take the minutes, put together the board packets, take care of QuickBooks, do the accounting here, help with pilot billing. That's administrative. Why the analyst was doing all of that while also doing cost benefit analysis, assisting the executive director on interacting with clients, that's a lot to put onto that person. And you know, when Taylor left, that's when, you know, I reassigned those activities to Christine. And I think Katie here has a much stronger skill set to really you know, satisfy the needs of the position here. Plus her experience in nonprofit accounting in particular, I think really lends itself. So this is where I have a lot of confidence and optimism in you know, not only getting Ada back into the right place, but a lot of other, you know, related responsibilities we have.
Unfortunately, Taylor had the ability, she just didn't have the work ethic.
We are being recorded live.
Hmm?
We are being recorded live.
Hi, Katie. Hi.
Hi there, Katie.
Hi.
Come on in. We're just going through audit stuff right now. If we would like to move on from the auditor's report here, the two other items is the procurement information and our investment report information. As I'm sure you're aware, another Paris reporting item due by the 31st. I think just today we received the final annual reports that were out. No, we have one more from Seminary Commons. They are just late. It seems to be between this report as well as getting their pilot billing in on an appropriate time. So by next month's meeting, I will have full information for all Paris report submitted. What I've provided you today here is a copy of what was submitted last year. There has been no substantial changes in my review. All of your vendor information is the same between CETA, your auditing firm, and TGW.
Are they, Seminary Commons still claiming that because of the change in their pilot that they have put them behind?
Not that I've heard. Chris did not leave.
That
me
did
with
come up
authority.
originally when
Okay.
the fire department took over part of the building and they said that they couldn't get things done because they, they didn't have all the information.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of
So based on the documents you have before you, any substantial feedback as part of the overall update to the general board, 5 o'clock.
that. No.
Okay.
Thanks, fine.
All right, that sounds good to me then. Any other?
You present this.
No, Elaine will be here.
Elaine will speak
For the
to
audit.
the
No, I'm talking about
procurement and investment report.
Oh,
yeah.
do I need to present something on that?
Mhm.
I think more of it is just touching on, here's what we reviewed and what we'll be looking to submit as part of our annual
Oh, yeah.
report.
Yeah, okay,
You
yeah,
don't
sure.
need to go into the law.
Yeah, no, I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. All right, as I mentioned, before I pause the meeting here, or rather just stop it, is Angela Janik from Danville McKee, who was the lead auditor, will be part of the meeting, and she's lined up to speak on that part there in the new business section. But that's after you just had an update from our discussion here.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I did have a question on the this month's financial,
Mhm.
on the balance sheet, there was a receivable from one of the pilots.
Yeah, so it's that 12,000 amount.
Yes,
That's a journal entry that has to be made there.
okay, because then it also has it's reversed, like an allowance for,
Exactly.
it said administrative fees.
So that's one of the things
Okay.
that I'll be working with Katie to get cleaned up. Because part of what I was doing this last month was some of the cleanup to say, have these pilots been attached to the right invoice figures? There was some issues there that I went in there and cleaned up myself.
Okay.
So there's certainly some other areas, but again, I have high confidence in Katie's abilities.
Did
On
the Paris audit pick that up?
the Paris audit, I won't know for certain. I will have all of that submitted by the 31st. I'm still waiting for everything to come in, and then I'll be doing a marathon day of getting all the information in. Our audit here is a big portion of that, and they're nearly done. I know they have to present tonight and make sure they can check the box on management's response to noted issues.
I'm at a distinct disadvantage. I'm Jim Dacey.
Hi, I'm Katie Moran.
Glad to meet you, Katie.
I'm very new on this, so
Yeah.
Yes, but you're not new to the whole world of
No,